believe it or not, for all the people who are here in the workshop, 6 or 8 weeks are over. And you probably remember like it was just yesterday that you arrived in Baltimore. So yes, time flies fast, especially when you're having a good time. So this has been fun. It's always sad to bring the workshop to a close, because I think the time that passed recently was, hopefully for you and definitely for me and others, a very productive time, a very intense time about thinking, doing, and so on. So it's always a little bit sad, but at the same time, it's also a happy time because we brought a lot of this work to conclusion. I'm sure there'll be good papers coming out of it, a lot of follow-up work. So let me just take a few minutes to sort of reflect on all the things we heard yesterday and today. So all three teams have really done terrific work. So we have to remember something, and this is sort of the nice part of it. I'm not using slides. I'm literally just trying to remember what I learned from the three presentations. So from Elmar's, it was nice to see how, as expected, there is signal in the speech pattern of people suffering from Parkinson's, and in the language use or lexicosyntactic use of people suffering from dementia, that there is, at least in the near term, a good chance that some of these could be converted into analytics that could be deployed for monitoring one's health and making sure you're on schedule. And then it was also nice to know that speech and lexicosyntactic stuff aren't independent, that the Parkinson's people also show lexicosyntactic differences, and the Alzheimer's people also have speech pattern differences. So basically language is just so fully connected with our mental neural condition that it's a good window into it. And today's team showed the same thing. Your language use does reflect what you're thinking and you're feeling, and again, we might be able to change the landscape. In both these cases, by the way, one of the more difficult things going forward is going to be issues about privacy and ethics and what's fair to use and how to use it and so on and so forth. So those are big problems. They're probably bigger than our workshop teams had intended to tackle. But at least from the technology side, we're making inroads so that when we do come around to making policy decisions about this as a society, we'll know technologically what can and cannot be done. And you need that in order to make the policy decisions. So it'll be fun to see this research grow and become more solid, and one day just become commercial. There'll just be an app which will tell me that, it appears from my text messages or my email or whatever is the current form of communication at that time, that I'm having a bad day, that I should probably take a break and take a walk in the park and things like that. Lukash's team, like I said, made some nice inroads into completely unsupervised learning, and I think we're getting to the point where we are developing the science of learning by machines, where we really can say, okay, just show me behavioral data and I'll learn what something is doing. So and like Elmar said, animal sounds, one of these days I think we'll basically figure out what animals are saying just by listening to them. And maybe we'll get a language model for them somehow as well. So yeah, so it has been a good summer. So, and like a lot of people over the years have said, oh, these workshops are terrific, and they're terrific because of the people who come here. So let's give ourselves a big hand. I think we've all done a terrific job this summer. Good work, terrific work. Okay. Of course, being here for 6-8 weeks, I don't know if any of you ever thought about logistics. You probably had a place to stay, and there were cookies every afternoon, and your airfare was taken care of, and so on and so forth. So all this organization happens because of people who are behind the scenes, moving things around and making things happen. When you went to the lab, you had your computer connections, you had your logins, you were doing your computing. So all those things require people. So there are a handful of people here who need to be thanked, and thanked very sincerely, because they're basically like our parents. They make sure the environment around us is good for us to do what we do. So I'll start off with, I want to say the most important, but they're all important, so I don't want to make that distinction. But first and foremost, Ruth Scally. Ruth, thank you so much. So the thing about Ruth is that, nothing phases her. You come in and say, oh, this happened. She's like, okay, take care of it. And oh, I completely forgot. There's this other guy from Prague who's supposed to come. We didn't even do his J1 visa work, and it's only 2 weeks left. So like, okay, what are we gonna do? It's okay. I'll call Susanna Rodriguez in the international office. We'll take care of it. You go back, do your stuff. So it's terrific, and it's great. So she's very ably assisted during the summer by Jenny, who's here. Thank you. Thank you. Matt is going to come in a little later because he's going to stay later. So let's thank Matt in absentia. And then for the computing, we have Carl. Carl, thank you so much. So this is probably the first summer that I can remember where there was not a major meltdown. I mean, this is something I don't tell anybody, but when everybody starts working, I'm thinking, okay, which day is that going to happen? So every summer there's usually one disaster. So there's one day in the middle of the summer when an entire file system gets wiped out because something unprecedented happened. And there are times when, like, we work with the people, like 1 year I remember we worked with Dell, trying to figure out what happened. And it turns out there's this deep bug somewhere in Dell's file system code. And our workshop exposed it by doing something crazy that their file system couldn't handle. So these things happen every year. So for some reason, knock on wood, this time we had that near chaos with A12 going up. So Carl, thanks for keeping us above water all through the summer, and Adidapo for helping us, helping Carl and us do the same. Thank you very much. And last but not the least, we have some nice postings on the CLSP webpage and some tweets here and there about the workshop, generally causing awareness, and that's because of Alex back there. Alex, thank you so much. There are a few others who sort of help even further behind the scenes. Oh. By the way, you know what this is? This is my weekly alarm for the stand-up, daily alarm for the stand-up meeting. Lukash, are we having one today? The standing meeting? All right, anyway. So yes, so this is like, this is good. So other people, there is Yamis who does the budgeting, financial stuff for us, Nicole who helps us with higher level organizational administrative matters, and I mentioned Adidap already. Yes, Adi was mentioned. Thank you, Adi. And Laura Graham in computer science. So yes, there's an administrative team working behind the scenes. So we're grateful for that. Thank you so much. And with that, I will bring these proceedings to a close. We'll see you guys at 3 o'clock for the cookie break. Sorry.
And dinner at 6 o'clock.
Yes, so first the cookies at 3 and then dinner at 6. So see you all then. Thanks. Oh, where is the dinner? The dinner is at Evergreen.
You have to remind us all the time, because we don't need emails.
I know. You can see, they were nudging me with our shoes.
Yes,